December 2025, Tesla is targeting a production cost for the Model 2 at $12,749, without relying on any tax credit whatsoever. Let me be crystal clear right now. This is not the announced sale price. This is the internal production cost target in their roadmap. If you're thinking about buying a cheap EV to escape skyrocketing gas prices, expensive maintenance costs, and avoid rapid depreciation as you approach retirement, I have to tell you straight, the biggest risk isn't in the price you pay, it's in the trade-offs that 90% of people are misunderstanding about this car right now. In the next 15 minutes, you'll understand how cheap the Model 2 can actually be and why, what you'll have to sacrifice, and if you misunderstand this today, you could waste years waiting for the wrong car that doesn't fit your needs. I'm not here to sell you a car. I'm here to help you avoid EV decisions that could cost you thousands of dollars over the next 10 years. Stay with me until the end, because what I reveal in the final 2 minutes could save you from the most expensive mistake EV buyers are making right now.
Breaking the misconceptions. Let's talk about 3 things most people are getting wrong about the Model 2 as of late 2025. Misconception number 1. The cheap price is thanks to the tax credit. No. The $7,500 federal EV tax credit officially ended in September 2025. It's no longer part of the price equation. If the Model 2 is truly cheap, it can only come from 3 things: simpler design, revolutionary manufacturing processes, and trade-offs you'll have to accept. Misconception number 2. Tesla is lying because we haven't seen the car. Not announcing a product doesn't mean it's a scam. It means they're not ready. Automotive mass production isn't a marketing stunt. A company can announce too early and fail, or stay silent and deliver at the right time. Misconception number 3. The Model 2 is coming in a few months. There's no signal that the Model 2 will hit showrooms in Q1 or Q2 of 2026. What we're talking about today is an internal target and technical roadmap, not an official launch date. And here's what matters most. If you can't tell the difference between these things, you'll set the wrong expectations and be disappointed for the wrong reasons. But here's what's even more dangerous than misconceptions. Most people don't know there are actually 4 different prices hidden inside that $12,749 number, and confusing them could cost you $7,000 or more.
Now let's talk about the $12,749 number everyone's buzzing about. To understand it correctly, you need to distinguish between 4 different price layers. Layer 1 is the target production cost, roughly $12,749. This is the number Tesla sets for their engineering department. You need to figure out how to get the cost per unit down to this level. It includes raw materials, labor, factory costs, and allocated R&D. This is an internal target, not the price you pay. Layer 2 is the commercial sticker price, or MSRP. When Tesla commercializes the Model 2, they'll add profit, logistics costs, marketing, and dealer network costs, if any. A reasonable estimate would be $18,000 to $22,000 MSRP. Layer 3 includes incentives and financing deals. There's no more federal tax credit, but there could be 0% APR for 36 to 48 months, trade-in bonuses, state-level rebates depending on your state, and insurance bundles. These deals could bring the effective price down to $16,000 to $19,000. Layer 4 is the actual out-the-door price in 2026 to 2027. You'll need to add state taxes, registration fees, destination charges, and accessories if needed. Real estimate, $17,000 to $24,000 out the door. Why does this matter for people 55 and older? Because you're no longer dependent on constantly changing incentives. If the Model 2 can achieve an MSRP around $20,000 without needing a tax credit, that's a stable option for people on fixed incomes like you. But, and this is the big risk, if the actual price goes up to $24,000 to $27,000, then the financial equation completely changes. The important thing is you understand that $12,749 is in Layer 1, not believing that's the price you'll pay at the showroom. Now, understanding the price is one thing, but what Tesla had to sacrifice to hit that number is something most reviewers won't tell you, and it's directly tied to a risk that could show up the first time you get into an accident.
Next-gen manufacturing process. Now, I want to talk about what Tesla is doing to achieve that price target and why it affects you. Tesla's using a super large casting machine, 50,000 tons, 8.3 times larger than the current Model Y machine. The good news is it reduces the number of components by over 60%, from over 200 down to about 80. The entire underbody is cast as one single piece. The production process is many times faster. Structural rigidity is higher, which means safer driving. But here's what nobody's telling you. Casting one large piece means you can't repair small sections like traditional cars. If there's a collision affecting the underbody, you might have to replace an entire large module instead of patching a few small pieces like gas cars. As of December 2025, we do not have real-world data on repair costs for major collisions with gigacasting structures, whether insurance will charge higher premiums due to unclear repair costs or the ability to repair at independent garages instead of Tesla service centers. Here's what you need to keep in mind. If you're 60 years old driving a Honda Civic that's 10 years old, you're used to any garage being able to fix it cheaply. The Model 2 may not work that way. Minor collision? No problem. Major collision, costs could be unpredictable for the first 2 to 3 years. I'm not saying this is a bad thing. I'm saying you need to understand this before you buy, not after you've signed the contract. The Model 2 is expected to use a 50 to 55 kilowatt-hour LFP battery, lithium iron phosphate. The advantages of LFP are longer lifespan, 2,000 to 3,000 cycles, safer with less fire risk, cheaper, and you can charge to 100% daily without issues. The disadvantages are lower energy density, which means shorter range, and performance drops significantly in cold weather. If you live in Arizona, Texas, or Florida, great. If you live in Minnesota, Wisconsin, or Montana, you need to think carefully. And speaking of cold weather, what I'm about to show you next is the single biggest reason why people return EVs within the first year, and it has nothing to do with the car itself. Real-world range and winter performance. Tesla might advertise an EPA range of 260 miles, but here's what they don't bold in the brochure. Winter range can drop 30 to 40%. If you live in an area with cold winters, 260 miles EPA becomes 160 to 180 miles in reality. This isn't a Tesla defect. This is the physical limitation of lithium-ion batteries. Real example. You're 62 years old, living in Wisconsin. You need to make a 120-mile round trip to your daughter's house. Summer, no problem. January, with minus 10 degrees Fahrenheit, you might have to charge mid-trip. This isn't to scare you. This is so you plan correctly. If 90% of the time you drive under 50 miles per day and charge at home every night, the Model 2 is perfect. If you frequently drive long distances without a clear charging plan, you need to reconsider. Drop a comment right now. What's your typical daily driving distance? I want to know if the Model 2's range works for your lifestyle. But range is only half the equation. The other half will determine whether you save $15,000 over 10 years or end up spending more than a gas car. And it all comes down to one thing most people completely overlook:
Charging, the deciding factor. Let me be blunt. Charging is the deciding factor in whether you should buy an EV or not. If you can charge at home, the cost is about 12 cents per kilowatt hour, depending on your state. You charge every night while you sleep. You never have to go to a gas station. Total cost of ownership is the lowest possible. If you cannot charge at home, you depend on superchargers at 30 to 50 cents per kilowatt hour. You lose 20 to 40 minutes each charging session. Higher cost, more inconvenient. The question you need to answer yourself: do you have a private garage or carport, a 240-volt outlet, or can you install one? Are you willing to pay $500 to $1,200 to install a Level 2 charger? If the answer to all three questions is no, the Model 2 is not for you. It sounds harsh, but this is the reality that dealerships don't want to tell you. Now here's something that might surprise you. Despite all these trade-offs, the Model 2 could actually be the best car for people over 55. And it has nothing to do with technology.
Designed for older drivers. Now, some good news for people 55 and older. The Model 2 could be one of the easiest EVs to use for older people. The seating position is higher, making it easier to get in and out with better visibility and reduced pressure on joints. The smaller 17 to 18-inch wheels mean a smoother ride. The cabin is simple, with a clear center screen and voice commands. Maintenance is low, with no oil changes, and regenerative braking means brake discs last much longer. What gets cut? No heated or cooled seats, no power trunk, no panoramic roof, fabric seats, fewer speakers. Is this a problem? If you're driving a 2010 to 2015 Camry or Civic, you don't have these features either. The Model 2 isn't luxury. It's sensible for people who want savings and simplicity. But does sensible actually mean cheaper when you look at the real numbers over a decade? What I'm about to show you will completely change how you think about the true cost of car ownership.
10-year TCO comparison. Let's say you're 58, weighing between a 2025 Honda Civic at $26,000 and a Tesla Model 2 at $22,000, driving 10,000 miles yearly for 10 years. Civic total: $26,000 purchase, $10,000 gas, $6,000 maintenance, equals $42,000. Model 2 total: $22,000 purchase, $3,600 electricity, $1,500 maintenance, equals $27,100. Savings: about $15,000 over 10 years. But risks include higher repair costs, 10 to 20% higher insurance, and unclear resale value. Realistic conclusion: if you can charge at home and keep the car long-term, the Model 2 saves more. Without home charging or with frequent long trips, a hybrid might be safer. So, with all of this information, there's one final question that will determine whether you should wait for this car or walk away right now. The deciding question. You now know the actual price could be $17,000 to $24,000. The tax credit has ended and winter range drops 30 to 40%. Now the biggest question: should you wait for the Model 2? Answer yes if you can charge at home, drive under 100 miles daily, don't need luxury features, and will keep the car 7 to 10 years. Don't wait if you lack home charging, frequently take long winter trips, worry about repair costs, or need stable resale value. This isn't a simple yes or no answer. This depends on your specific situation.
If you've watched this far, you're more serious than 95% of people buzzing about the Model 2 without understanding anything. But we're not done yet. In the next video, I'll analyze the biggest cost that people waiting for the Model 2 usually overlook, and it's not in the purchase price. It's opportunity cost, time cost, and it could be $10,000 to $15,000 if you make the wrong decision today. 3 things you need to do right now. 1. Comment below, "Worth waiting," so I know you're following closely. 2. Subscribe to the channel, because the next video will change how you look at EVs in 2026. 3. Turn on notifications. I'll update as soon as there's official news from Tesla. Thank you for spending 15 minutes on the truth, not the hype. See you in the next video.